and away on this side of the map for IMA. And wow, actually, IMA take it away? That's weird.
Yeah, well, they actually first rotation took it. The Rek'Sai priority from Newbee means that IMA were definitely using it as a denial from B.
Yeah.
Based off Newbee's recent success, I do not blame them for thinking that. And being first pick, I don't blame them for getting rid of it.
Yeah, and also making sure that they can get that Rek'Sai in the first rotation there as well, as Elise is going to be banned here from Newbee, as the two sort of stock standard red side bans have gone out, and Newbee will see whether they actually decide to get rid of one of these supports perhaps, or whether they go for the likes of that Rek'Sai ban and just leave the Karma and the Bard available.
Yeah, well, Karma's now got like double the utility available for the side of IMA, so banning it in game 1 means it could be ultimately more valuable in game number 2.
Yeah.
However, you have to note that being on the red side means that they could force IMA into a priority Rek'Sai, which is expected, and Newbee say they don't want it. They actually don't want it. Maybe it's the Bard that they actually want.
Well, Jhin Bard is a fantastic lane. Happy played a pretty good Jhin in the last game. And Mor, of course, loves to hop on the Bard, has picked up multiple MVPs for that champion. When he's on form, Mor can definitely get things done, and his early game on the Thresh was unbelievable. Now Newbee thinking about what they want to grab for this first rotation.
Honestly, showing he has a place as a proactive support more.
Yeah.
He's always been a bit hit and miss, and the biggest concern has been how they work as effectively a jungle support duo, Swift and Mor, and they never did. And so
yeah.
That game number 1 showed actually positive steps for the team in that respect.
The thing that I'm interested in here from IMA and Newbee at the moment is...
They might even want to go Sivir instead of Maokai. Feels like a matter of priority here from jinjiao.
I'm thinking of Shen, because Shen's been completely overlooked by both of these teams so far. He was so good.
That's
for
why I'm a
OMG.
color caster.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rusty continues to be the prediction lord as the bottom lane of Newbee is locked in. You do it every time.
Well, they picked away from IMA's bottom lane. That's the two champions that IMA win with.
Yep.
Every single time we see them. Rhodes' most successful champion is Bard, and jinjiao only really plays Sivir unless someone takes it from him, and then he's like, all right, like, I'll play something else. And ultimately, whilst it is denial from IMA, Newbee can still play these picks, and they're going to be happy with these, and that's why I would have suggested them as the first option.
Yeah, I do definitely like it. Is jinjiao now considering hopping on the Jhin himself? Oh my god, Tarek would be so fun.
Oddly appropriate name as well, jinjiao.
Yeah, exactly. He has to be good at this champion. It's sort of no other option, as Thresh is now being considered. Of course, there are a lot of options for the support position, namely the Braum, if IMA would like to go towards it. And they switch over at the last second, pick that one up, and grab the Jhin at the same time. Yeah. Do you reckon I've got a chance being colorcaster?
Not too bad.
That was not bad. Not too bad.
You said it at the right time.
Yeah,
that's the brownie points there.
We'll sleep on it for now. See how we go. As Newbee now thinking about rounding out the next big chunk of their comp.
The real trick is like looking at something, and I'm probably going to get this wrong now. I've jinxed it and saying dade, probably going to play Azir, and then watching it like he hovers the Azir and just like basking.
Well, Azir Maokai would actually be a pretty good lock-in idea.
That or even the Viktor to an extent likes the move speed from Sivir, one of the few mid lane champions that benefits from it, as does TF.
Yeah, good point. Dade picking away the Twisted Fate here could actually be a really good idea. Of course he does very much like that guy, but saving the Dade pick until last, and saving him for a potential Yasuo pick into the Twisted Fate, which is what we saw in the Vici series. Or, of course, just picking the Twisted Fate himself, as Graves is what Swift opts into.
So locking in the carry support style of, I guess, Swift in that jungle role.
Yeah.
There's a lot of damage. It feels very Swift. When the
Right,
Rek'Sai is not there and he's not going to be a tank, may as well kill people and do a lot of damage. The Maokai in particular feels a lot more standard from Newbee. They actually get themselves a tank to complement what is going to be damage from that jungle role.
Yep.
A pick out of necessity. And one of the reasons they would have looked at Lissandra in game number 1 is because they had the Rek'Sai. And the same thing goes for IMA's draft right now. They've got Rek'Sai and Braum, so they have tanks. Their top laner, amazingJ, who likes carrying, can honestly just pick one and have a great time.
And I was actually looking at IMA's draft thinking that, you know, Shen Azir would actually make a lot of sense if they are going to prepare themselves for a potential Twisted Fate last pick. But throwing amazingJ on something with a heck of a lot of damage makes a lot of sense, especially they are going to switch over to the TF as well, as Athena
here we
is going
go.
to try his hand at it.
Lock in that Yasuo, make everybody happy.
Oh, this is it. And the Maokai Yasuo is what they used to dominate Vici with as well. Come on, Dade, don't let us down.
Still, there is a lot of options. Viktor is one of the few mid laners where you can run cleanse.
Yep.
If you feel like you need to run cleanse. I think being that he is against an Irelia, however, perhaps the teleport has more relevance with getting towards that top lane, helping V out.
More relevance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do decide to go with. Because, yeah, teams do love Viktor Maokai Graves. That is, like, the comp.
This
And
is,
it hasn't
okay,
seen
so,
a lot
like,
of success.
Block the Bard out,
Yeah?
last split.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it almost looks... This is a Vici comp.
You ready? Ready? Block the Bard out. 2 splits ago.
Oh,
it's literally
God.
the LPL comp. Like, that is so stock standard, perfect LPL that it's just what you like want to see from them. Sivir and any support is always prevalent. Viktor has always been good for them in the LPL. Wave clear mid laners has been a big deal. And the Super Soaker top lane.
Super Soaker 1000 Maokai. We need to get that skin.
Just flings water at people.
That is brilliant. Next pool party. Maokai, you're invited. Unless he's just going to be a mangrove. I don't know. Let's not go into it. As Ime, you can see another 1-3-1 comp. And now, with added Rek'Sai support, lots of global pressure coming out of this team. We'll see whether they've got enough wave clear in the remaining 3 in order to get things done. Because Newbee have fashioned themselves, once again, a team fighting comp to end all team fighting comps.
Yeah, it does feel like the tables have turned in some respects here. Of course, having the Sivir Viktor, the wave clear that Newbee have means they can stand their ground and hold the fort quite effectively. Ime running that Irelia in the top lane. They've got the wildcard carry option. They've got the 1-3-1 potentially as well. And the 3-man that they've got, Jinjiao is going to be pretty safe.
Yes, most certainly is. We'll see whether they can get the work done, because once again, it looks like Ime probably wants standard lanes or bust at this stage. See whether they can actually get them, as coaches are going to shake hands. Deep bow there as well, as let's get ourselves into game number 2. Thanks, Dade, and we are into a pause to start this one off, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. So we will try and get into the game as soon as possible. Probably just Athena sorting things out, as he was the one that has recently come back in. You can see him towards your left on the screen right now, with someone over there helping him out. Hopefully we will be able to get onto the Rift as soon as possible. But, Rusty, we do know exactly what the comps are, and we've seen the Viktor Maokai Graves Sivir Bard a lot. Will it prevail against this 1-3-1 Twisted Fate Irelia comp?
I feel like, again, the question doesn't necessarily come down to will Newbee's, what is basically defined as a standard team comp, prevail.
Yeah.
It's more so how will Ime actually navigate themselves around what is a standard team comp once again.
That's a
because
good point.
we look at game number 1, it was a Twisted Fate in Trundle, and what they did was not 1-3-1 until it was appropriate, and then only very sparingly would they actually do it, because Newbee were trying to push them in and push their advantages, and slowly the undoing of that was that Newbee would overstay their welcome, and that's where the Twisted Fate and Trundle were important, in that they didn't use it to engage, they used it to just actually re-engage after something was overextended. So yes, I think that like standard teamfighting comp Newbee, man, like they get ahead, they're just going to snowball the game. But they didn't get ahead last time with anything standard. This time around against a very similar team comp, I don't think they will again.
Yeah, and the thing was, they did manage to gather themselves advantages, and they made moves around the map, picked up massive amounts of kills. Honestly, was able to take down Ime relatively effectively in the early game in the skirmishing phase. However, it only led to a 2,000 gold lead. IMA were never out of it because they were never stopped from farming. And jinjiao sort of passively got himself towards that 3-item spike where all of a sudden Sivir does 1 trillion damage. And maybe something like having this Maokai will help out, not to mention having the Sivir themselves on the side of Newbee. And we think that, that pick might actually be the big deal.
I think the Sivir's a big deal simply because it's Jinjiao's most played champion, and you don't want to have him on the Sivir. He's a facilitator, gets a lot less gold than the average AD carry as well, so taking him off something like that, putting him on a Jhin, could actually be really bad, honestly, for this IMA side. I think that whilst we looked at the top laners as well before that point, I think that, I mean, he's not Trundle. It's going to be pretty hard to stop the Irelia, however, from farming. It is a Maokai, but what that also means is whilst the Maokai's there, they've got Swift on that carry jungler and Graves. I think they actually look at top lane a little bit more this time around and maybe try and get the Maokai tanky enough, fed enough to a point where he won't lose 1v1s, and that's when they start to make map plays. Yeah,
sort of that map, I guess, that gank combination of the Twisted Advance and Graves doing so much burst damage is pretty ridiculous. But Avoidless now has the Rek'Sai. We've seen Rek'Sai be such a massive impact. In fact, won almost every single game yesterday for whichever team managed to pick him up, apart from, I guess, OMG, who were up against Skarners and Kha'Zixes, and that was a very weird series. However, in the previous series, when Saint managed to pick up the Rek'Sai, things were huge. So Avoidless, now on a champion he's very, very comfortable on, that Irelia Rek'Sai gank is actually quite powerful itself because there is double the CC.
Yeah, and this comes back to the Trundle effect to me, in my opinion. Now, this is that you're a tank that does damage, and how many tanks do damage in League of Legends and actually get away with it? Not many. Rek'Sai has a lot of early damage. Of course, they changed Cinderhulk, so wave clear is more efficient. You can go Titanic Hydra on that if you're snowballing quite heavily. And this is honestly just this funny middle ground where you do way too much with what little you're supposed to be doing. And so Rek'Sai as a pick complements that factor really well. You can gank any lane. You've got global presence as well. You've got wave clear, you've got objective control, you've got tunnel systems and sonar radars. Like, you can see everybody on Summoner's Rift. It's honestly just way too strong of a pick.
He's basically a submarine, let's be honest. So Rek'Sai, pretty powerful pick at the moment, and we'll see whether it is going to be what turns the tide here for IMA potentially. And what I'm excited about is actually seeing how Athena does on the Twisted Fate. So far, Athena and Bamey have been basically interchangeable with slight changes as far as play style, but their champion pool is the same.
And it's hardly,
flat out the same.
It's hardly even play style. Like, there's small differences between these two, if anything. One a little bit more aggressive, perhaps. Whereas, I mean, like, the end result is you play the same champions, you win in the same way. It's just subtle nuances that actually separate them.
I find it very, very interesting. As we are back onto Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into game number 2 between IMA and Newbee. Of course, one thing that we have to remember as well is that IMA are trying to be Newbee right now. Of course, formerly EDE, the team that got auto-promoted out of the LSPL, looking very, very strong on their road through. As much like QG, who was formerly Newbee, but Moore has been caught out of position here. Has to flash as Road's going to follow him in. The Ignite has finished as there's the block on the Winter's Bite. Huge news here as
Road's
Happy.
A bit deep now
trying to
as
turn things around. Nice gold card comes out as Road doesn't have the flash available, gets caught by the gravity field. Deadly Flourish comes down, and that's going to be first blood going to jinjiao. Happy now as well, does have the concussive blows stacking on top of him. And Road won't have the opportunity to stand behind anyone. The double teleport's coming in as amazingJ gets amongst it. And now all of IMA together. It's another round of gravity field, which means Dade has nothing he can throw out for damage. And amazingJ picks himself up a kill as well. It's a disaster for Newbee.
Everybody teleported, so they all have to recall and come back to lane a wave late. This is just really confusing stuff. Dade's coming in the Viktor versus TF lane level 1.
With gravity field.
With gravity field. So he doesn't have wave clear, doesn't have damage, and he can't trade until he's level 2. So he just sits back, enjoys the ride that is going to be this middle lane. What a disaster for Newbee.
That was not good news. 1,000 gold to start things off here for IMA.
Level 1 Braum.
Yeah, sick gravity field, Dade.
Yeah, he zoned him off a total of 0 minions there. Look, I mean, 1-0 as well, 1-0-1 is going to be a snowball AD carry and amazingJ on that top lane. They even force themselves into standard lanes here, IMA, so they get everything right. It was a great start to them.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And you can see Avoidless as well, making his way around the jungle. More than happy at the moment as Swift taking his wolf camp for the moment.
even slight experience advantages that actually come from that first blood. A lot of reasons why people do camps is to have experience advantages. You don't need those when you get kills. You'll get level 2 first every time.
Well, you can see amazingJ well and truly in control of this lane, and the Irelia 12-0 now as V has to just wait for this minion wave to make his way to him.
He got one.
Oh my goodness. This is a disaster story for Newbee in a game that they have to win if they want to stay in this series.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for them to even consider staying in this series. One other thing is the choice of Thunderlords for Jhin is something that we're seeing more and more in only the LPL.
Yeah,
and it's one of Imp's favorite things, and now Jinjiao's also going towards that.
Death did the same thing in his first Jhin game as well, and then moved to Death by a Touch in his second.
Yeah, so ultimately it feels like just early presence in lane. It's the only reason people usually have Thunderlords anyway, right?
Yep.
Morgana as the support runs it, and the puddle hits it nicely, but Jhin doesn't have a lot of spells that he can throw out willy-nilly and hit the actual Thunderlord's proc, so he needs to aggressively commit towards it. He does have a range advantage against the Sivir, but Bard has a lot of lane presence, so it's risky to do that. Whereas the Death by a Touch, you'd say actually scales really well with his kit and has maybe more late game presence because it works with bonus AD. And Jhin is literally just walking bonus AD champion.
He's a bonus AD machine. As Avoidless looking for a tunnel to get himself in there. Sets it up, but doesn't actually make his way over as Athena takes a lot of damage after that. Does have teleport, can go back to base, but that was a weird tunnel.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that tunnel from Avoidless. They have sent extra resources here, though. The Braum's roam down, and Avoidless, he has flash.
Did they walk over that ward is the real question.
No,
as
they didn't.
Athena wants to find himself a gold card. Yeah, actually lands it as Avoidless flashes in. They will be able to get the stun as the gold card falls on top, and Dade is going to fall down. Flash comes in as Swift looking to follow Athena, but doesn't get the second proc of damage. Red buff is going to do it, but Swift is going to sacrifice himself for this one. Double kill for Avoidless. This jungler is huge.
And 2 kills for the Rek'Sai. The Thunderlords on Swift is actually what helps him get that kill with the red buff. A teleport's going to be there for the Twisted Fate anyway, so he can choose to come back into this lane. Once he gets 6, he doesn't need that teleport anyway. Even choosing not to use it. What an unusually aggressive start here from Newbee, trying to compensate for what is expected from amazingJ.
Yeah, just bullying them out as Equilibrium Strike comes in. amazingJ just battling V.
V's out of mana.
Yeah, Blade Surge comes in. V not going to be able to do anything. Hit and style doing work. Flash from amazingJ just to get an extra auto attack.
Well, it forces
what an
the
amazing
flash
thing
out of V, and Rek'Sai is huge, so they can actually threaten a dive if he doesn't just go back. And yes, it is just an amazingJ thing, to be fair. There's a lot of lane presence established by that Irelia.
Yeah, see whether they utilize it as well, as Rogue gets a point-blank use of the concussive blows, and Happy taking a lot of damage. Heal has to be used, and jinjiao wanted that last auto attack, but the flash comes... Oh, no. The heal comes in, more movement speed, and they make it to the turret.
Let the snowball begin.
This is insane.
They're turning up the tempo of this game, through standard laning, winning their bottom lane, which is the 1v1, winning their top lane, which is the 2v2, and ganking that middle lane, which is the only one that isn't going in a straight 1v1, because naturally it's a Viktor, and he can diffuse lanes.
However, I think Aime probably just waiting for Athena to get that level 6, and then he can just affect a different lane, as now amazingJ turning things around, and Swift just didn't want to be there. So the wall comes in. Happy! Deadly Flourish is going to get flashed out of the way of, but jinjiao picks up the kill. It was actually a spell shield, not a flash, but fantastically avoided, but not enough after the flash comes in from the Jhin. Now Swift in trouble, as Aime just continue to find advantages.
To be fair, Avoidless actually needs to go back to base for once in his life. I think he's a little bit too content with farming.
A little bit keen.
Swift having already hit the Death Chamber, got that recall in, so effectively is stronger. I'm not sure he realized that fact.
Avoidless has level 6, so he can just get back in with his ultimate. As there's a Twisted Advance. amazingJ has found V. Actually has a level advantage somehow on the Maokai.
And Twisted Fate is 6, so V needs to be careful. He's always going to be in a position to die. I think the problem with what amazingJ did and why he was behind in levels is because he pushed it in and then just recalled and walked back to lane instead of teleporting, something that V did use.
Good
so
point.
that level will be caught up quickly enough anyway. The level 6 spike is there for everybody respectively from the side of Aime. Now's a good time to look towards a Baron play with what is a lot of items picked up by Avoidless.
Or possibly a Dragon play as well, considering the, 13 minutes necessary for Baron to spawn.
Thing.
Yeah, basically. So there's the gold card. Flash has to be used from Dade. Wildcards are going to get a bit of damage down. His road has been all over this map this stage. The Jhin now moving back to the lane with his Bard in tow. Jinjiao going to get stunned. That was a very long Cosmic Binding. That ability just does weird things. Whoa. Yeah, there's a magical journey. Heal has to be used. Really good ultimate out of Road as Happy's in trouble. There's the Destiny as well as this is Aime's play. More has to flash out as Swift finds himself the last man here.
Oh, good hit.
Yeah, is going to be able to nail the Winter's Bite. Road been playing fantastically well, but Swift is just walking too fast. Has the brown bags. And it is helping him out. Another Winter's Bite comes in, and the Deadly Flourish to follow up. In goes amazingJ, and they lock down the kill. Chaos Storm onto Road, but it's not enough. Boomerang only one tick. And Aime are able to get the one pick, but they used a lot of summoner spells and ultimates.
And you know the game's going poorly when an Irelia looks at your Chaos Storm as Viktor and just walks through it to get back to base.
With all of those defensive statistics of a Phage.
Yeah, not exactly ideal as they will still have a bit of wave clear, but the dive can't be stopped.
Oh, they're looking for a gold card lands. It's all too easy here for Aime as they're underneath the inner turret before the outers even died without a mini-wave.
And you know how I said the game's going bad when? Well, that's another example. Dade just gets dove casually, and Twisted Fate walks through the turret to get back out safely. Jinjiao is now a little bit out of position, but I think he knows it. He knows it.
He's definitely hiding. Big mini-wave, just going to wander up to it there as well, as Road is going to make his way back in. No summoner spells, but does have a full health bar, and he's going to be very happy. And as the dust settles, that is a 3-0 Irelia. Good luck, V.
I don't think the dust is honestly settled, because at the moment it's probably still kicking up a storm. It's about to become a full-blown cyclone.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tempest here in this game currently, as V just, resorts to wanting to get experience more than anything else. Barmy Cinder's there, so at least he's got some health totals.
And it's just funny, because this game snowballed out of control potentially already from a level 1 play where Newbee, they were a little bit out of position, to be fair. But they were fighting a Braum.
Yeah.
And that's a level 1 team basically constructed here by Aime already. Twisted Fate can afford to level up the W, whereas if Viktor does it, long cooldown's never going to be able to match it. The same thing goes for most members of Aime.
Yeah, different Twisted Fate player, different Twisted Fate build, as it is going to be the Rod of Ages that comes out of Athena. Wants to be diving as much as possible, I guess.
I'd like to think of it as the snowball build.
Okay.
Because you do need to stack it up. So scaling strength, perhaps. But we already spoke towards what they both provide. Of course, missing a lot of cooldown reduction now, which is why he has Lucidity's rushed.
Yeah, as there's the gold card. Dade going to get Deadly Flourished as well as the curtain call comes in. Dade dodges the first one. Actually has some pretty happy feet, but Jinjiao is going to be able to pick it up in the end with the second bullet.
Yeah, not bad from Dade, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
There's another roam from the duo lane of Aime, snowballing this game out of control. Happy, more, can't respond. And if you can't respond as a Sivir Bard, you're never going to be able to respond.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of flexibility and movement on that duo. They have to try and get as much farm as they can. 74-71, so Happy is still in the lead, but he's watching the rest of his team crumble around him with free mana, so I guess consolation.
Swift needs to pull out something god tier to even have them look at getting back in this game. Here's the Graves, so he's going to have the Warrior Enchantment completed, so he has a lot of damage. But I just don't know if that damage is even made up for by the advantages that I may honestly already have.
Yeah, and Avoidless as well. I mean, he's got Ninja Tabi. He's probably happy to fight Swift as he takes a lot of damage here. And V is going to lock him down. Half health now for the Rek'Sai. Probably wants to tunnel under the ground. There's the flash out as well as amazingJ looking to try and help out. You can see the rest of Newbee are making their way in. Tunnel will be available very soon. And the Tempered Fate picks him up. amazingJ now trying to buy some space for his jungler as he does unburrow himself. The Destiny is flying through, but maybe a little bit late as Swift is very low.
Yeah, he went mid with it.
Yeah, just gets himself back into lane.
Yeah, so they piece out. A lot of effort used to secure the single kill, and it is going to be Avoidless who goes down. So it's just the tank of the team. They don't actually lose a whole lot for that Aime. There's actually pressure now in side lanes as a response to that. Ultimately, it is still a kill on the board for Newbee, and they're going to be happy with Dade picking one up. We'll see if it actually snowballs at all.
But you can hear that scream, and that means that they haven't necessarily bought that much map pressure just because immediately the Rek'Sai back in there, back amongst it, getting the work done.
And again, there's nothing for them to take. The pick did not correlate with the Drake timing. They can't make a play cross-map for a Rift Herald. Ultimately, it was just a kill because they can. because it was way too deep. And this is very similar to what we saw from Game 1 Swift playing that Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
Just too deep because he can.
Yeah, Rek'Sai just likes to be able to get around there. 3,000 gold, still the lead. Probably one of the largest gold leads we've seen in this series so far, honestly, is Game 1 was only until the very end that things started to balloon out of control. And Road, you can see actually getting right up into the faces of Newbee. There's a really nice deadly flourish as Happy has to flash, but it's not enough. Jinjiao picks it up with the last bullet, the big old crit to the face. That'll be enough. And if you can kill someone in 4 bullets, you're feeling very good as Mr. Jhin.
Well, they might actually
deadly
have more.
flourish one more time, and the curtain call comes in. More is going to die as Avoidless grabs it, probably with a red buff by the end. And I may just go from good to even better.
They absolutely do. Trinity Force as well for that Irelia. Everything is snowballed. We're just waiting on another shot from jinjiao. I really love the different styles that we're seeing out of Twisted Fates, and the reason that I do is because it throws a spanner in the works.
Oh! That was so close.
He didn't get it, but it throws a spanner in the works of the way that the players play and how Dade has adapted to that play.
Yeah.
So, like, they have similar styles, Athena and Baimi, but ultimately even going for the Rod of Ages could confuse Dade because it's not what he's used to seeing from the previous one.
Well, you can see AmazingJ now taking a lot of damage. Collateral damage was not enough. And the teleport out of Dade had to be cancelled because AmazingJ created enough distance. Avoidless doesn't even care what's happening to his top laner, knows that he's going to be safe, and just takes his red buff.
Yeah. Pinging for assistance in the bottom lane want to help you this time around. AmazingJ, I think, will teleport. It just didn't want to be dove, which is why the Rek'Sai is nearby. Actually, they swapped lanes. There you go. Looking to accelerate the pace of the game. Top lane turret went. Break the bottom. Be a good timing, I would imagine, for a Drake as well.
Yeah, 44 seconds now on the next one, which I believe is going to be another Ocean, if I remember correctly.
Let's just go with yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the timing, again, from... Not only is it an acceleration of the game by being able to force extra turrets to take it down, open the map more for a Twisted Fate to work around at times, and coincides with that Drake. And a big snowball now possible for what is already a pretty sizable gold lead at 14 minutes.
Yeah, 5,000 gold at 14 minutes is huge. Swift continues to farm out his jungle. 1-2-1. Same name as my car. Swift has the Berserker's Greaves. Makings of his next item. Possibly more of Malmortius to come in second. Pretty standard stuff for the Graves, as Moore has discovered Avoidless, or has Avoidless discovered Moore as he gets caught by the Deadly Flourish. Jinjiao's Jhin is fantastic. Excellent name, as there's the flash. V actually getting brought all the way into this IMA roster, and he's not tanky enough. AmazingJ picks it up as Swift now has to deal with him. Avoidless tunnels after the concussive blow is not going to be enough as Athena flashes forward. Wildcard not going to find him. He's taking up this whole chaos storm as AmazingJ eventually takes down Happy somehow. Okay, off to the side is able to pick that one up, and IMA just continue their onslaught.
Well, Irelia is an assassin when you are 4-0, now 5-0 after killing Happy, and this is going absolutely the opposite of what Newbee were looking towards. Strong map play from IMA, utilizing that Twisted Fate. They're not done, Dade.
Oh, one more time. The gold card flies in. They happily give the kill over to Athena. And Moore looking for Road. Unbreakable's there, but the turret is going to do a lot of work. However, stand behind me. Gets into his mid laner.
He's just walking through the turret. He was just there. This is cheesy. This is... look, I'm going to say it's calculated cheese. He's about to see them. And it's Happy, and it is also Moore who has the ultimate. But as far as cheese goes... Oh, my God.
Even manages... That is ridiculous! Deadly Flourish there as well.
Gross.
Just, yeah. 15-2, Rusty.
6-0 is Irelia. After cheesing the Sivir, after already killing the Sivir, waiting for the respawn and sitting in a bush.
Yeah, and AmazingJ has a lot of faults, Rusty. But one thing he does very, very well is be ahead.
He does it well and poorly all the same, Mr. Atlas. Because it works when he is ahead.
Yeah.
If he's not ahead,
precisely,
then he's still playing like he is ahead.
And he's in his element at the moment. Grabs himself a bunch of tanky stats now with the Mercury's Treads, as well as that Giant's Belt and the Cloth Armor. I would have liked to see him go for a Blade of the Ruined King. Just say, yep, no, we got this.
Well, I mean, the aggressive build's actually like a more of Malmortius. But he's going for the armor stack. Looks like his job is to kill Happy and Swift. They're not afraid of Dade. 1-4. Went for the Hex Core into Merc Treads. Not the Abyssal Scepter, so not exactly doing damage, is Viktor.
No, not quite enough. They're trying to defend this outer turret in the mid lane. It's down very, very low. As we're verging on 9,000 gold, the lead. I'm thinking about what they're going to do next. Baron is going to be available in about 2 minutes. But they probably feel like they could be going for it now, because they are so incredibly far ahead.
Well, they could look towards the Rift Herald. It's one of those free objectives, but why would you do such a thing when you can actually capitalize on the strength of your actual standing roster in their lanes?
I feel like it gives up tempo there as well. You're exactly right, Rusty.
It's just time wasted. Exactly, and like map control, perhaps they push a wave out from Newbee, and that's not what I may want. They want to push those waves. Speaking of.
Yeah, Tempered Fate is going to find 3 members of IME here as jinjiao makes his way over as well. More able to defend the turret for a little while, but V looking for an engagement. Road is going to be the one that he goes on as the Glacial Fissure comes out. V has to be careful. Ultimate now channeled as the Curtain Call doing a lot of damage. Swift has to be really, really safe as the Spell Shield waited out.
Oh.
And the Curtain Call then going to fly in for the last time. Clears out a minion wave. And you're right, it just lasts so long.
Yeah, the 4-man unit are all just like bundling together to try and save everyone else's life from the crit bullet. Zones them off the turret, takes them the free objective.
And they grab a free one in the mid lane as well.
Exactly. They spend so much time as a 4-man unit, even with Moore's ultimate to try and lock them down. There's just no presence from this team. The gold lead is far too great.
That's 10,000. At 19 minutes into the game, and that was a statistic, wasn't it? Like, how many games are won when you're 10,000 gold down at 20 minutes? Not many.
Well, I mean, how many teams do you know?
Yeah, it was quite some time ago.
In the LPL, though, that can actually win from 10k gold down.
EDG proved it yesterday.
Newbee always have.
That is very, very good
10,000 gold down. For some reason, I think one of their last memories that's in my mind is a 14k gold deficit that they won about 2 weeks ago.
As one of the biggest. And Athena, they're going to be pushing out the mid lane, but
I also don't think it was at 19 minutes that they were that far behind. I think it was around 30.
Yep.
So this is a snowball of epic proportions, and let me tell you, if Newbee win this one, they're gods.
And I have a feeling that the momentum you gain after winning a game from being that far behind is pretty ridiculous.
Well, your opposite team's probably tilted off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Well, Road at least lands a Winter's Bite as Avoidless is going to turn his way in. Finding this red buff. We'll see whether he can lock that one down as, yep, just steals it away from Swift, and they're just not strong enough to be able to do anything. Ward is going to go down, and IME just setting up vision around this Baron, which just spawned 15 seconds ago.
And at the moment, Happy is the one currently responding to the Sivir in the side lanes. So this is just spelling worse and worse things for Newbee, because watch top lane.
Oh, Curtain Call flying through as well. Swift has to be so careful. jinjiao just grabs it. Does get Tempered Fated in the end, but it's just not enough. Too little too late, I'm afraid, for Newbee.
Well, that's like 3 members strong, with Avoidless rotating between lanes. jinjiao's having a dance. Meanwhile, top lane, note that Happy flashed away from amazingJ on the Irelia.
I would too.
Which is, look at where amazingJ's walking.
Oh, another one. The point-blank ultimate comes in as Avoidless picks up the support. More now dead. And amazingJ just makes his way in. 5 men strong here in the mid lane. They're looking to take down this inhibitor turret. Wildcards flying through. Wave clear is there from Dade. Looking to see whether they want to tank this one up. But look at that turret fall.
They can't keep going, though, I do not believe. They don't have the Drake to fall back on. They don't want to commit to the Baron just yet. It's a recall, consolidate, and utilize that money that they've probably picked up off another couple picks. Sitting pretty.
Still seriousness in the faces of IME. Dade not looking happy, although that's basically his standard face. His expression does not change a lot as Swift now in trouble. amazingJ slows him down with the Equilibrium Strike as Athena's looking for the gold card.
Oh, got it.
Threads the needle. Picks it up with the wild card there as well as amazingJ wanted more, but Athena says, no, it is time for Baron.
The side card god. That is basically what Athena just pulled off. He did not intend for that to hit. The flash was after the card connected. But it works. And look, that's a big member down. Swift is gone for 20 more seconds. They can look to push this turret that they already prepared earlier.
Yeah, easily taking that one down. As you can see, jinjiao, a lot of damage. Another Deadly Flourish comes in, secures another kill. This time onto Happy. And this inhibitor now falling down. Newbee just falling apart at the seams as this gold lead is out of control. 14,000 gold. 22 minutes in.
And this is a scrim that was lost at level 1 through an early invaders. The kind of thing that unfortunately you can't reset in an LPL match. And they are on struggle street, Newbee. Their only respite is that occasionally IMA might look for a neutral objective in the river instead of their base.
Yeah, well, IMA looking to augment their first 2 dragons with this Infernal Drake almost perfectly put in place.
Remember that it's also a Jhin picking it up, and while it gives 8% bonus AD,
God,
it's
yeah.
Jhin. And one of the few champions that, has 700 AD when he's at late game. Might like that.
Jesus.
Just saying.
Yeah, exponential growth is a pretty ridiculous thing when your base stat is pretty huge. As yet, Double Ocean now augmented by that fire. Hot Spring coming in as now the Destiny comes down. Swift uses the ultimate. Gets himself to relative safety. There's Athena creating space now for Aime.
Yeah, no ulti, no teleport. I don't think it matters too much because with the inhibitor down in that middle lane, they can just run bottom side. And it's funny, at the moment, Avoidless is the one doing it. The rest of the team is a 4-man unit, feel like they don't necessarily need 2 tanks. Yeah. They have enough with just Road and amazingJ's assassination tank build because he's just so fed.
And Avoidless is just flat out fighting this Maokai. Like
he
he's
wins
the top
that fight,
laner.
though. He absolutely wins that fight.
That's just ridiculous. Oh, Dade has the Dade Magi's picked up as well as he does avoid the Deadly Flourish, but Curtain Call comes in. Happy has to be careful. Nice Spell Shield blocks the first one, and Tempered Fate stops the last 2 bolts.
Yeah, you have to note that also Jhin was picked into the Bard. That's one of the few things that can be defined as a counter to it, is honestly these two I'll see in a couple of years. Let's watch top lane.
Yep. As the inhibitor turret is taking a lot of damage. My god, Athena with that Lichbane doing work as the Chaos Storm may take down Rodin. It does. The tower falls down as Happy is going to use his Spell Shield to get a Transcendent Blade as Swift taking a lot of damage from amazingJ. He does make it into the backline, but he's taking a lot of damage. Boomerang doesn't find the Irelia as V. Looking for the Twisted Advance, gets the flash, but amazingJ, he does end up falling down as eventual Maelstrom pops onto him. Now jinjiao possibly in trouble as Dade gets exploded by Athena. This Twisted Fate needs to be respected as Moore has to flash away. Swift, full health bar, makes his way back into the fight. And Aime with 2 dead, still playing with their food.
Yeah, still looking around at the top lane inhibitor. They have broken turrets, all things considered. And that last defiance from Newbee does stand resilient for the moment. But at a moment's notice, that could completely fall away. jinjiao now even stealing red buffs by himself, because that's what you do as an AD carry when you're this fed in the game.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, we watched a Rek'Sai and a Maokai fight each other all the way from the bottom lane inner to the middle lane.
Oh, Swift. That Deadly Flourish gold card combination is repugnant, Rusty.
Good damage in the last team fight.
Yeah, Dade doing work.
Sorry, Avoidless out-damaged everybody as a full
That's
tank.
a good point. Did they include him fighting
Yeah, that's
V?
exactly what they included.
Oh,
Him and V
God.
fought for like at least 2 minutes. That's where he's cheating on that damage chart.
Still, Cinderhog with that buff
Oh
does
no,
a
it
lot
does
of damage here in the
and
late
he's
game.
like, he's a big tank, so he still does damage, but that's still cheating.
It is. It's hilarious. amazingJ now with the Guardian Angel completed, as well as that Randuin's Omen from before, is gigantic. Stealing away this blue buff, then going to set to work on the bottom inhibitor
I'll
turret.
just go for the Baron and force it, working with amazingJ down there.
Of course, they did just get the inhibitor there as well.
Yeah. I also give merit to Dade for what it's worth on his Magi's.
Yeah.
Was just dead.
Yeah, he's so dead. Another Deadly Flourish comes in. Avoidless is the one that locks down that kill. It's just what happens when you're warding.
They're trying to find vision around the Baron, and Aime aren't even doing it yet. They will now, of course, but baiting them to come in and die a few times. I will say, whilst they're going to do this quickly, that Magi's is actually really cool for a snowball item. It's reasonably cheap, and if you win a team fight, you suddenly have 12 stacks, and then you're actually relevant.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Could be useful if they win this fight.
And it's something that he's done a lot of times as well as Dade. As Road throws out the ultimate, they're looking to finish off the Baron as Curtain Call comes in. Swift just gets exploded. Road is the one that picks up the kill. As you can see, they've just ignored the Baron for now. Smite is eventually used. Nice Gravity Field comes in as Dade, well and truly out of this fight now, moves all the way to the back. Not a lot of mana as Deadly Flourish tries to cut off V's escape. But Blade Surge is there, and amazingJ picks up the kill. Couple of picks now for Aime and a Baron buff. as Athena teleports himself into the bottom lane, and we'll get to work on the last remaining inhibitor.
Because you need to make the gold lead as large as possible before you actually end the game.
Teleports in, and then, yeah, just Destiny's right underneath this Nexus. Nexus turret's now falling down as Dade's going to get picked out. Athena just one-shots him from half health. That was ridiculous. Nexus turret's now falling down. Okay, some time bought from Moore as he respawns, as Swift takes a bajillion damage himself.
This is just a smashing.
This is a smorgasbord of death right here from IMA as they slaughter Newbee in 2 games. What a match out of this team. You have to talk about the level 1, but they still managed to build that snowball beautifully.
And they snowballed the heck out of that game. A resilient side. They fought hard in game number 1, and they put themselves in a position to succeed 1-0 up in this series. And they come into game number 2, and they do not hold back at all. The former EDG sister team show that they can hold their own against some of the best.
Yeah, looking fantastic. A lot of respect as they shake the hands of this Newbee roster. You can see that is one of the teams that they looked up to moving in here because, of course, from the LSPL, this is a team that wants to be able to rocket their way through. Both of these teams, 3-3 in their groups, I believe, as they take about well-deserved for IMA. And look, once again, we've got a powerful team coming out of the LSPL. I mean, you have to say that now. They managed to pick up that 2-0 win.